Plug-in hybrids are all about driving short and medium distances in electric mode, but if you need to go somewhere further or if the batteries run out, a good old internal combustion engine has your back. And that almost sums up PHEVs. Almost, because with every test drive I'm more convinced every system is slightly different. Today is the Mercedes-Benz A250e Limousine, or Sedan for you guys stateside. Let's see what's that all about. Before I get to the hybrid aspect of the A-Class, I need to talk about this body style. On my channel you'll find reviews of the A-Class hatchback, the CLA 4-door coupe, as well as the CLA shooting brake. In this generation of the A-Class there is also a sedan body style, and I wasn't able to understand what's it for when there is this CLA. I even asked Mercedes and they weren't able to offer a convincing answer. This is the first time I've seen the car in the flesh, and finally I got what the big deal is. The A Class Limousine V177, there is also a long wheelbase Z177 for the Chinese market, looks like a miniature C-Class. The A Class Limousine is larger than the C-Class predecessor 190 W201, and it is only slightly shorter than the W202 and W203 C-Classes that followed. And the wheelbase is almost as long as in the W204. This is a big car and more modern than the W205, which I think is a terrible car. I'm sorry, I digressed. Back to the A Class Sedan. How is it different from the CLA? Well, the roofline in the back and the boot are higher. Also, there are frames around the side windows, and at almost 470 centimeters, the CLA is considerably longer than the 455 centimeter sedan, with the wheelbase being the same at 273 centimeters. Subjectively, I like the A-Class Limousine looks. It's all the C-Class is not, and at the same time it looks similar, and I wasn't supposed to talk about the C-Class anymore, so let's go for a drive. I've driven more and less powerful A-Classes. Here under the bonnet we find the same 4-cylinder 1.3-liter engine like in the A200, but here it has help from the electric motor. And the A250e has 218 rather than 163 horsepower. The 0 to 100 kilometers time dropped from 8.3 to 6.7 seconds. I checked. In comfort mode, the A250e goes from 0 to 100 km per hour in around 9 seconds. In sport mode, it's just below 7. I had a passenger on board, so the 0.3 of a second difference is easy to explain. From 80 to 120 km per hour in normal mode took the A250e around 5 seconds, in sport mode 4.7 seconds. All this on a dry, warm, sunny day. The batteries. All compact Mercedes PHEVs, the A-Class hatchback, the A-Class Sedan, as well as the B-Class, get the 15.6 kWh batteries. The WLTP ranges between 60 and 69 kilometers. On a warm September day, I got around 60 kilometers easily on electric power, regardless of whether I was driving in the city or on the dual carriageway. I drove mainly in comfort mode, so there is potential to get more out of this car. How, you ask? The Mercedes-Benz A250e has several recuperation modes. The car starts in automatic recuperation mode. Depending on the road situation, as you lift off the throttle, the car can either coast or decelerate, for example when there is another car in front, or there is a turn ahead or some other maneuver on the sat-nav route. More about that in a moment. You can also adjust the recuperation level with paddles by the steering wheel, just like in the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. I used mainly the radar-based recuperation, and perhaps this is why I never got more than about 60 km electric range, but if someone likes to play, there is potential for more. What I really like about the hybrid A-Class is that I don't have to do anything to get decent range out of it. The car knows what it's doing, and it sort of trains the driver to go with the automatic recuperation flow. I like that in the Outlander PHEV I get to play with the paddle shifters because it's fun, but not everyone likes that. On the other end of the scale, there are cars like the Kia Exceed PHEV where you have no control over recuperation. And in the Volvo XC40 Recharge T5, recuperation can only be on or off, so I feel as if some of the energy is wasted there. Anyone who's interested in a PHEV should try several versions of the system and choose the one that best fits their expectations. If I had to choose a PHEV today, the A250e Merc would be high on my list. A few minutes ago I mentioned SatNav and its impact on recuperation. Navigation impacts the whole hybrid powertrain because based on the programmed route, the car will use the internal combustion engine or not, like to climb a hill, or it will save electric energy for urban zones, etc. As far as I understand, this also affects Android Auto integration. I often praise Mercedes cars for how deep their Android Auto integration is, as Google Maps directions are recognized by the adaptive cruise control. However, this doesn't seem to be the case in this test car. I asked Mercedes press office about it, but I didn't get an unequivocal answer. Charging. The car may be equipped in a 7.4 kilowatt onboard charger, which allows to charge the liquid-cooled traction batteries in 1 hour and 45 minutes. There is also a CCS socket allowing 22 kilowatt charging, which gives you 80% charge in about 25 minutes, just enough for quick grocery shopping. I recharged from a regular home socket, which took about 5 to 6 hours empty to full. Something I really like in this Merc is a little button to release the plug. Under normal circumstances, when the car is charging and is locked, you can't unplug it. You have to take out your key, you have to unlock the car, etc, etc. However, here I just need to press this button here and it releases the plug, which is very convenient. So you may wonder, what if somebody else comes, presses the button and unlocks the plug, unplugs the plug. So okay, let me just get rid of the key. There it goes. And it's safe. Brilliant. I think we've got the hybrid drivetrain more or less covered, so let's talk about ride and handling. The traction batteries weigh about 150 kilograms, but then there is the electric motor and other PHEV stuff, and all this adds up to another 150 kilograms. To be honest, if I didn't know this was a hybrid A-Class, and if I didn't know it was supposed to be heavier, and if I didn't know by how much it's heavier, I probably wouldn't notice. Electric boost makes this car feel light. Also, comfortable suspension masks the extra mass. The current generation A-Class was always decent to drive, and the hybrid variant is no exception. Sure, it's no A35 AMG, but during my time with the A250e, I never encountered a situation in which I'd feel the car is out of its depth. By the way, the hybrid A-Class can tow up to 1600 kilograms braked and 750 kilograms unbraked. Soundproofing in the upper part of the car is average, and on coarser stretches of tarmac there is a lot of tire noise, something I complained about in the 1 Series BMW, although I should probably be comparing it to the 2 Series. Fuel consumption around town is comically low, even if for some reason the petrol engine does kick in for a minute or two. At the end of the day, I end up with something like half a liter per 100 kilometers. But let's assume you need to go somewhere further. No problem. I drove 395 kilometers, most of it was on a dual carriageway, and about 20 or so kilometers around the city. Out of almost 400 kilometers, more than 100 was in pure electric mode. That included the 60 kilometers after I unplugged, as well as another 40 or so when the car was in hybrid mode. At the end of the day, I averaged 82 kilometers per hour and 4.9 liters per 100 kilometers. Good? Bad? Let me know in the comments section below. I decided to charge the car once a day. Today is my 6th day with the hybrid A-Class, and I averaged 3.6 liters per 100 kilometers, 3.5 actually, after driving 667, total 337 in electric. This is better than a Toyota Yaris, well, the hybrid one anyway. Of course, this is a brand new car on a relatively warm late summer day. A friend of mine has the previous generation GLE hybrid and has been complaining about significant range deterioration, as well as the fact that Mercedes claims that the battery degradation is within limits. Will the batteries in newer Mercedes cars prove to be better? We'll have to wait and see. I thoroughly covered the A-Class and the CLA interiors, as well as the MBUX infotainment system in my other reviews, so I suggest you check them out. I'll leave links with timecodes in the description, though I'd love if you watch the whole thing. The sedan cockpit is the same as in the hatchback or the coupe. The differences resulting from the hybrid powertrain are an extra gauge on the virtual instrument cluster, as well as electric and battery level modes. There is no battery charge mode. Perhaps engineers decided with CCS it's going to be quicker and cleaner to recharge the car during a stopover than use more petrol. In the back it's also pretty much the same. You may find it easier to get into the back seat of the sedan than the CLA because of the slightly higher roofline, but it's the hatchback that's got the most headroom for rear passengers. And like in just about every compact Mercedes I've driven, you have to slam the door like in an old Polonaise. Another friend of mine drives a GLB and also complains about the doors. However, I told him, dude, in your car it's nowhere close as bad as in the press cars. The boot volume dropped from 405 to 345 liters. This is less than in the internal combustion engine hatchback. Although the batteries are packed mainly under the rear seat, there is still a petrol tank, 35 instead of 43 liters. All this had to fit somewhere, hence the shallower boot. The Mercedes-Benz A250e Limousine starts at 37,000 euro. That's the same as the A250, $2,000 cheaper than the hybrid B-Class. This test car with options costs about 58,000 euro. PHEVs are not for everyone, but if you think a car like this fits your lifestyle and you want one that looks classy, take the Mercedes A250e Limousine for a test drive. And how do you like the Mercedes-Benz A250e Limousine or Sedan? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like my sarcastic, down-to-earth and possibly mildly amusing car reviews, join me every Friday at 3 p.m. Central European Time. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.